I step into London Gatwick Airport with the bright hope of a smooth journey and the heavy suitcase of expectation that I have carried from my childhood in a distant Soviet town. I imagine polished floors, friendly staff, a quiet corner for my Baby S bottle, and a gentle hum of efficient machines. The reality that greets me is a cruel parody of that dream. First, the water fountain. I wander through the terminal like a thirsty pilgrim, searching for a free source of water. The signs are vague, the fountain's hidden behind glass that is locked. When I finally find one, it drips weakly, the plastic cup is cracked, and the water tastes of metal. The lack of a simple free water source means I must spend £10 on bottled water, a needless expense that drains my wallet and my patience. It also signals that the airport cares more about profit than the basic comfort of its travelers. Then I am forced into a waiting area that feels like a crowded carriage. Seniors and children are pressed shoulder to shoulder, their faces turning pale from the lack of space. The chairs are few and hard, the upholstery stained with old coffee. No one offers an extra seat or a place to rest a struggling stroller. The shortage of seating turns a short wait into a painful ordeal, especially for those who cannot stand for long. It shows a failure of planning, a willingness to sacrifice human dignity for the sake of squeezing more people through the building. My phone buzzes with a reminder to charge, but the charging stations are absent. I search the walls, the tables, the floor, and find only empty sockets that are locked behind glass. Without power, my phone cannot guide me, cannot call for help, cannot capture any memory of this tragedy. The absence of charging ports is not a mere inconvenience. It erodes the sense of security that modern travel promises, leaving passengers stranded in a digital desert. The staff at the check-in desk wear thin smiles that quickly disappear when I ask for assistance. One employee, a woman I later learn works for EasyJet, refuses to let me approach the counter despite my arrival 15 minutes before the deadline. She stands rigid, her eyes fixed on a clipboard, her voice cold. I feel invisible, my needs dismissed because a queue is long. Such rude behavior breeds anxiety and erodes trust. When a traveler cannot rely on the people meant to serve, the whole system collapses into chaos. I am a pregnant woman with a pushchair, and the assistance bells I press are met with silence. No one appears to help me up the stairs that lead to the gate. I am forced to rely on strangers to lift my heavy pram and my luggage, a violation of my dignity and a clear indication that the airport has no accessible routes for parents or people with mobility challenges. Without lifts or escalators, the building becomes a prison for those who cannot climb, and the loss of independence is a deep emotional wound. The baby and nursing rooms are a joke. I locate one that is labeled as such only to find it filthy, the floor sticky with spilled milk, the sink clogged, the soap dispenser empty. The smell of stale urine lingers. A mother standing nearby wipes a tear from her eye, her baby crying because the space is too cramped and unsanitary. The lack of clean, well-stocked facilities forces families to endure discomfort and fear for their children's health. It tells me that the airport has no respect for the most vulnerable passengers. Parking is another theater of exploitation. I am told I must pay £10 simply to pick up a guest. The spaces are so tight that I must drive on the wrong side of the lane to exit, risking damage to my car. The price is not just a financial burden. It creates stress. It makes the arrival experience hostile. It turns a simple pickup into a battle. When the airport charges for basic movement, it reveals a profit-first mindset that disregards the human need for ease. The luggage weighing machine charges £2 even.
Before I place my bag on it, the screen flashes 1.4 kilogram, while the machine insists I owe money for a service that should be free. The charge appears without explanation, leaving me feeling cheated. Such hidden fees erode trust and make the traveler feel like a victim of a predatory system. Security is a nightmare of endless queues that stretch like a serpent through the terminal. I stand for what feels like an hour, listening to the sighs of exhausted travelers, watching staff idle near the scanners, indifferent to the mounting frustration. The delay forces me to sleep on a cold floor, my back aching, my spirit sinking. The lack of efficient security processing not only wastes time, but also heightens anxiety and resentment toward the entire airport.
I am looking into crimes near London Gatwick Airport, where tourists often visit for a short trip. It's like they think they race safe, but nope. Businesses near London Gatwick Airport are like super sketchy, you know. Like this one designer boutique in central London, they were swapping real designer handbags with cheap replicas during packaging. Can you believe it? The tourist bought the bag and only found out it was fake when they opened the box. The store even accused them of trying to scam them. I mean, what kind of store does that? The police had to get involved, and only then did the store admit it was an internal issue. I bet the tourist was so upset, you know. They probably felt so ripped off, and who can blame them? And then there's this electronics store on Oxford Street, where they had a box of bricks return scam going on. They would sell items, and then return the box filled with bricks or something else instead of the device. The store would refund the money without even checking the contents. Tourists bought these returns thinking they were new, but really they were just getting a box of junk. One Spanish tourist lost $800 on a fake iPhone, and the store didn't even take responsibility. That's just so wrong, you know. Convenience stores near Crawley train station are also not what they seem. They had a card skimming operation going on, where they would collect card data from tourists who used chip and PIN. The owner's relative was behind it. Can you believe it? Many tourists didn't even realize their cards were stolen until they got back home. That must have been so stressful for them, trying to track down the theft and get their money back. And then there's this returns fraud surge in London and surrounding areas, including Crawley. People buy expensive items, use them, and then return them for a full refund. Sometimes they even swap the original item with a fake or damaged one. Stores are losing so much money because of this. I mean, who does that? It's like you wear a dress to an event and then return it, thinking it's no big deal. But really, you're stealing from the store. Tourists are getting caught up in this, both as victims and as unwitting participants. Some souvenir shops in central London are also ripping tourists off. They would deliberately not scan items at checkout and then pocket the cash. Or they would charge tourists way more than locals for basic souvenirs. When tourists tried to return the overpriced items, the shops would claim no refunds on sale items or produce fake receipts. One family from France got charged $50 for keyrings and mugs that should have cost $12. The store manager even threatened to call the police when they argued. That's just so not right, you know. And finally, there's this luxury perfume store in London's West End that was caught swapping out expensive fragrances with cheap imitations in tester bottles. Unsuspecting customers would test the scent, buy the product, and then find out it's not what they thought they were getting. When a German tourist complained, the staff denied responsibility until a social media video exposed the scam. Several similar complaints followed, and the store refused to refund them. I mean, how can you do that to people? It's like you're taking advantage of their trust.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on a journey through the bustling environs of London Gatwick Airport, let us set the stage for an exploration into the heart of the businesses nearby. Imagine, if you will, a grand tapestry woven with threads of customer experiences, each color a reflection of service rendered and expectations met, or, as we shall uncover, unmet. In the shadow of the airport, like moths to a flame, travelers are drawn to the promise of comfort and luxury. Yet, beneath the veneer of star-studded ratings and grandiose facades, there lies a tale of discontent, a narrative that whispers of the imperfections that mar the idyllic portrait of hospitality. Take, for instance, the Sofitel London Gatwick, a beacon of anticipation for weary souls seeking respite. But alas, the glow of expectation dims as one encounters the digital labyrinth of modern convenience, where the simple pleasure of online television remains an elusive quarry, much to the chagrin of the modern traveler. The promise of a seamless digital experience flickers and fades, leaving guests in the dark, quite literally, as they grapple with the enigma of smart TVs that aren't so smart. The culinary dance within these walls is a waltz of woes, where the symphony of flavors strikes a discordant note. Diners are left aghast as their palates are subjected to a gastronomic gamble, with dishes that range from the unremarkable to the downright unpalatable. One would hope that a mere £100 would secure a feast fit for royalty, yet it seems to conjure a spectacle more akin to a court jester's banquet, where the food is outshone only by the lofty prices. As the night descends, the hotel's nocturnal symphony begins, a cacophony of revelry that echoes through the halls, ensnaring the hopes of a peaceful slumber. The promise of a 4:30 a.m. wake-up call becomes a distant memory, as the Sandman plays a cruel trick, leaving guests to the mercy of their own timekeeping devices. The tale of Zari Restaurant in Crawley is no less disheartening. Here, the art of culinary deception reaches its zenith, as the promise of a luxurious banquet is replaced by a culinary sleight of hand, where portions shrink before your very eyes, and the promised bounty of the sea is reduced to mere morsels, floating forlornly in a sea of sauce and regret. The Edit LDN, a haven for the sartorial soul, lures in the fashion-forward with the promise of footwear that speaks of sophistication and style. Yet, the path to sartorial bliss is fraught with peril, as the specter of administrative chaos looms large, casting a shadow over the gleaming shoes on display. The dream of striding confidently in the latest trends is replaced by the nightmare of interminable waits and unfulfilled promises, as the elusive sneakers dance just out of reach, leaving hopeful customers teetering on the edge of despair. The Sofitel London St. James, a stone's throw from the bustling heart of the city, stands as a testament to the dichotomy of expectation and reality. Here, the grandeur of a five-star establishment is juxtaposed with the harsh reality of rooms that whisper of smoke and heat, where the ghosts of technological failures past linger, and where the promise of luxury is dimmed by the glow of a solitary, lukewarm cup of coffee. In the end, what are we to make of this patchwork of experiences? As travelers, we are but pilgrims on the road to satisfaction, seeking refuge in the promise of service and quality. Yet, in the vicinity of London Gatwick Airport, it seems that the path is strewn with obstacles, where the light of expectation is all too often eclipsed by the cold, hard truth of reality. So, dear voyagers, tread carefully as you navigate the businesses that surround this bustling hub of transit. Arm yourselves with the knowledge that not all that glitters is gold, and that the promise of luxury often comes with a caveat of caution.
It is my sincere hope that this